Unfortunately, it's clear that this council does not listen, so instead I'm going to take my time to say what MAGA has stood for these past 3 weeks. MAGA stands for trying to erase trans people from existence. MAGA stands for resegregation and racism. MAGA stands for censorship and book bans. MAGA is explicitly a Nazi movement. You may have replaced a swastika with a red hat, but that is what it is. I will now engage in the time-honored American tradition of peaceful civil disobedience. Get out.
That is former NFL punter Chris Kluwe.
Now the thing is, if any of you aren't familiar with Huntington Beach, where this masterclass took place, let's just say this type of message would be received as well as Elon at a future family reunion. What are we at, 14 and counting now, mate? So yeah, it makes this all the more epic.
MAGA stands for firing military veterans and those serving them at the VA, including canceling research on veteran suicide. MAGA stands for cutting funds to education, including for disabled children.
This is former NFL punter Chris Kluwe, and if you haven't seen the video, he was detained at a Huntington Beach City Council meeting after delivering an impassioned speech criticizing the design of a plaque to be installed at the town's library. Kluwe is an 8-year NFL veteran who played his entire career with the Minnesota Vikings, and he took to the podium to voice his opposition to the plaque design, which is meant to celebrate the library's anniversary, but has instead made headlines due to the inclusion of the acronym MAGA. Right, because let's ban books, but we'll put MAGA in a library plaque. In his remarks, Kluwe denounced MAGA as representing, quote, profoundly corrupt, unmistakably anti-democracy values, which was met with groans from the likely pro-Trump audience before they took major offense to him invoking the term Nazi to describe the current state of affairs, because I wonder where he got that idea from.
And I just want to say thank you for making it happen. Thank you.
And it all ended with him voicing his intention to, quote, engage in the time-honored American tradition of peaceful civil disobedience, approaching the council with his arms behind his back as he awaited to be taken into custody.
Kluwe has made political headlines before advocating for same-sex marriage, LGBTQ rights, and Colin Kaepernick, but this is the first time his advocacy has put him behind bars.
Unfortunately, it's clear that this council does not listen, so instead I'm going to take my time to say what MAGA has stood for these past 3 weeks. MAGA stands for trying to erase trans people from existence. MAGA stands for resegregation and racism. MAGA stands for censorship and book bans. MAGA stands for firing air traffic controllers while planes are crashing. MAGA stands for firing the people overseeing our nuclear arsenal. MAGA stands for firing military veterans and those serving them at the VA, including canceling research on veteran suicide. MAGA stands for cutting funds to education, including for disabled children. MAGA is profoundly corrupt, unmistakably anti-democracy, and most importantly, MAGA is explicitly a Nazi movement. You may have replaced a swastika with a red hat, but that is what it is. I will now engage in the time-honored American tradition of peaceful civil disobedience.
Get out.
Is former NFL punter Chris Kluwe being arrested at Tuesday night's Huntington Beach City Council meeting over the city's decision to place a MAGA plaque at the city's public library.
We want to honor the library. We want there to be a plaque, but we don't want MAGA on that because the library isn't supposed to be political.
The all-Republican council voted 7-0 to approve the plaque, which features the words magical, alluring, galvanizing, and adventurous on it, a clear nod to the Make America Great Again Trump movement.
MAGA is profoundly corrupt.
If you think I'm overreacting and sounding the alarm too soon, consider this. It took the Nazis 1 month, 3 weeks, 2 days, 8 hours, and 40 minutes to dismantle a constitutional republic.
Now, this is far from the first time that the NFL veteran has been outspoken on social and political issues since retiring from the NFL in 2013. He's been an advocate for the LGBTQ+ community and has criticized the league's handling of controversial topics in the past. He actually joined a small group of protesters outside the Pelican Hill Country Club in Newport Beach, where then Vice President Mike Pence attended a luncheon fundraiser on October 9, 2017. And he notably supported Colin Kaepernick's stance to kneel during the national anthem as a way to shed light on police brutality. And of course, with this, when any athlete dares speak out against the current administration, there is the expected pushback from the MAGA contingent as they relay their usual stick to sports or acting or music mantra when the opposition is coming from the left.
I'm a huge soccer fan, but what they're doing right now is absolutely just ridiculous. They issued a letter and they're urging Congress to vote yes on every single gun bill they get. It doesn't matter what's in it. They just want everyone to vote yes on everything. And Lisa, rather than actually winning soccer games and focusing on the game, they're issuing these letters to Congress.
While, of course, fielding opinions from the likes of Mel Gibson.
They're a good bunch out here. I'm glad Trump's here at the moment. It's like daddy arrived and he's taking his belt off, So I think
that one guy from that one superhero movie. And
listen, for people sitting where we're sitting, I was very supportive of Bobby Kennedy. That led me to Donald Trump. And I am so grateful. I am so grateful that the election went the way that it did. And specifically because people like Bobby and Tulsi Gabbard are now in there and confirmed and can do the work. And listen, Doge is complicated, right? Like, there are a lot of people that are very afraid right now because there are truly good working people that work for the government that are getting lost in the cracks. And we have got to do something about that. Please, Elon and all of your team and whatever needs to happen, please don't let everybody fall through the cracks as we are doing what is necessary, which is to get in there and cut a cancer out, man. Sometimes they go in for cancer surgeries, doctors, and you lose some good, healthy tissue along in that. They don't want to do that, but it's a part of extracting that darkness out of there. And right now, that's what's happening. But there are good people that voted for Donald Trump who are losing their job. And we got to make sure that we don't leave those folks behind.
Well, and Kid Rock when he's not throwing tantrums on stage. And while the design of the library plaque has been a source of contention in Huntington Beach, with residents opposing the inclusion of the MAGA acronym, the city council ultimately voted unanimously to approve their plaque's design because in Donald Trump's America, you dare not oppose the cult leader, no matter how many of their constituents they alienate in doing so.
The last day and change has been the worst day of polling for Donald Trump during his entire second term in office. What am I talking about here? Take a look at Trump's net approval rating. CNN, you see it on this side of the screen, -5. Gallup, -6. Ipsos, -7. Quinnipiac, -4. Negative, 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 negative. Underwater, 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 underwater. These 4 polls, all of them tell a consistent story, and that is Trump is on the negative side of the ledger. His net approval is negative. He is underwater like the Little Mermaid. Trump's net approval rating, the change since January. Look at this. Gallup, down 5 points. Quinnipiac, down 7 points. Ipsos, down 13 points. They polled right at the beginning of his presidency, so not a big surprise that shows the worst change for Donald Trump. But the bottom line is this. Across the 4 new polls that we have, all of them have Trump in net negative approval rating, and the 3 in which we have a trend line, we see Donald Trump heading in the wrong direction, swimming upstream, you might say.
What is driving this? What is making people so upset?
Yeah. One of Donald Trump's great strengths during his first term, one of Donald Trump's great strengths during the 2024 campaign was the economy, the idea that Donald Trump could fix the economy. This was one of Donald Trump's great strengths. Now it's one of his great weaknesses. What am I talking about? Trump's net approval rating. You go back to his first term, February 2017, Ipsos, he was at +16 points on his net approval. Quinnipiac, +6. Look at where he is now in Ipsos. He's 8 points underwater on the economy. Quinnipiac, 4 points under on the economy. I honestly never thought I'd see the day in which Donald Trump would be polling so poor on the economy, but that day is here. As I said last week, inflation ate the Joe Biden presidency alive. And right now, it is very much the case that Donald Trump is in danger of inflation eating his presidency alive because his net approval ratings on the economy are underwater.
Starting the day I take the oath of office, I will rapidly drive prices down and we will make America affordable again. We're going to make it affordable again.
Yeah. And inflation is back. I'm only here for 2.5 weeks.
That was January.
Inflation is back. No, think of it. Inflation's back. And they said, oh, Trump inflation. I had nothing to do.
Can't get enough Meidas? Check out the Meidas Plus Substack for ad-free articles, reports, podcasts, daily recaps from Ron Filipkowski, and more. Sign up for free now at MeidasPlus.com.